Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Hi, I'm Teja Priyadarshini, founder for Akashic Center for Healing. Today we're talking about the big bad wolf called ego. Is it good? Well, it is an aspect of your personality that you portray to the outside world. It is the concept of I, me, and myself. And ego does everything in its power to control situations, to plan things for us. It is obsessed by taking care of us, our survival, our reputation, our personal interests, and everything else in between. So ego is good, but if you allow ego to kind of overpower us and our decision making and allow it to make all the big decisions in our life, then it becomes a problem, because then it starts to seep into your relationships. People will start saying, oh, you're so egoistic, you have an inflated sense of ego, and so on and so forth. And who likes to be called egoistic? Who likes to come from a place of ego? No one. Ego is basically this headspace that we get into that doesn't allow us to look beyond a certain point. But there are ways you can control ego, you can overcome it. And here's how. The first thing you need to do is to identify ego. That is because of our dichotomous way of thinking. We see most of the things in black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. And when we refuse to see the gray areas, the in-between states of things, then we tend to become very judgmental. We hold fast to our belief systems. We start criticizing people. We look at other people's perception of things and we start to judge them. We also look for validation from outside of us. And that becomes an issue. But once you identify the ego, you can begin understanding it. That is point number 2, understanding the ego. When we develop a deep connection and get in touch with our own ego self and comprehend the various layers to our egoic personality, we know where it is coming from, what are the limitations that is causing it, what is it about the ego that we need to learn and pay attention to, because sometimes when ego flares up, it is an aspect of ourselves that we need to pay attention to. Most of the time it happens when someone goes against our belief system. Like if someone says, oh, you know what, how you think is wrong and that is not how things are, that is when our ego kind of gets flared up and you're like, what are you talking about? I've done this all my life and this is what I believe in and this is how it should be and things of that sort. So when you're refusing to look at the other person's point of view, there is some aspect of yourself you need to pay attention to, because remember in my other videos when I keep saying that we kind of mirror ourselves or our personalities in the people we meet or interact with? Ego is also something like that. It brings forward all these aspects of ourselves that we need to pay attention to, learn from, heal, integrate within our own selves. So when you understand ego, get in touch with it, get to understand how it works, then overcoming it becomes very, very easy. And that is our third point, overcoming ego. Overcoming ego can be done through mindfulness. When we become more aware of our personality, aware of how we feel, how we sense things, how we deal with people, how our behavioral patterns are, that is when it is easy for us to overcome ego, because we're aware of it. When we know that our ego is flaring up, we immediately begin to take control of it. We understand where it is coming from and treat it with loving kindness. Don't be harsh on yourself. It is okay. I mean, ego is there to protect you and it's a good thing. But if you let it go out of control, that is when it becomes a problem. You don't have to kill your ego to be a better person. All you need to do is be more kind, more compassionate, more generous, even courageous, because it takes a lot for a person to understand they're being egoistic or coming from a place of ego and to be aware of it enough to change that aspect of themselves. Most of the time, look at ego as being in your head. And being in your head all of the time can be very, very exhausting. So shift some of that burden to your heart space. When you think from your heart, when you take decisions from your heart, things begin to flow more easily. So when you are in your head all of the time, you're overanalyzing things, you're getting angry, resentful, all the negative emotions you can think of are in your head. But when you move that from your head to your heart space, you feel love, you feel forgiveness, you feel understanding, you feel compassion, you feel kindness, generosity. All of those things lie in the heart space. So just shift your focus from your head to your heart and you're all good. So that is my take on what ego is and how you can kind of tame it a little bit. If you want to know more or want to have a chat with me, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page or my Instagram handle. Both are called @AkashikOfficial. The link is up there, or the handle name is up there. So just have a look at that and get in touch with me. And yeah, I'm going to see you again soon in my next video. I love you guys very much. You know that. I'll see you soon.